Discussion and debate at the intersection of the atheist movement and the LGBT rights movement.
You can find us on Spreaker, iTunes, and at gaytheistmanifesto.secularmediagroup.com.
If you're not ready to get in line for your mandatory gay marriage and you're terrified of short-haired women in pantsuits, come have a listen and get up to date on their plans. You'll be glad you did.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe, and I believe that reaching out for help is the bravest thing a person can do. If you are struggling and need support, call the Trevor Lifeline at 1-866-488-7386. It's free and confidential, and trained counsellors are there to listen 24/7 without judgment. To learn more about the Trevor Project's life-saving work for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, or questioning young people, go to thetrevorproject.org.
Do you occasionally suffer from bouts of rationality, cognizance, and literacy? Are you constantly baffled by the failure of your fellow hominids to comprehend simple principles like evidence, statistical significance, confirmation bias, and logic? Do your jaws ache from constantly holding your tongue in polite company? Do you find yourself tempted to stand on tables and scream, "The Bible also says rabbits chew their cud"? That's not an allegory, and I'm not reading it out of context, you frothing nincompoops. It's just wrong! Well, then we have the book for you. The Scathing Atheist presents Diatribes, Volume 1, 50 Essays from a Godless Misanthrope. This collection of epic rants was painstakingly chosen as the 50 best diatribes presented on the Scathing Atheist podcast out of the first 50. It's as effective against headaches as homeopathy, as accurate at predicting the future as astrology, more powerful than a power band bracelet, more efficient than a dowsing rod, and more potent than prayer. So look for it at an online ebook retailer near you or find it at scathingatheist.com. Diatribes, Volume 1, 50 Essays from a Godless Misanthrope by No Illusions.
Claims in this ad have not been evaluated by the FDA. Ebooks may be harmful or fatal if swallowed. If you experience an erection lasting more than 4 hours, you must be doing something right.
Hi, this is Trav Mamone of the By Any Means podcast. Join me every week as I talk to activists, bloggers, and podcasters about the intersections between social justice and humanism. Go to www.byanymeans.com, that's by spelled B-I, to listen to the podcast and read my blog. Besides, aren't we all a little bi-curious?
And we're back. Okay, so I said I was going to say a little something about the raspberry wheat ale that we have now carbonating. And this is for this last section here is for folks like Ben that may be home brewers themselves. This is a basic equipment is for an 11-gallon pot for brew in a bag, which is a method of brewing which is very much like making tea. You take your raw ingredients, you put them in a bag, you set them in the hot water, you soak them. You take the bag out, you squeeze the bag, you boil your new mixture, you throw in some hops, let it boil, throw in some more hops, continue to boil, cool it down, throw in your yeast, put it in a fermenter, stick it in a nice, cool, dry, dark place for about 2 to 3 weeks, and then you bring it out. You put it in the bottles or in a keg. In the keg, you can turn the CO2 tank on to carbonate it, or you do the way I do, add a little bit more sugar, let the yeast do their job, and naturally make bubbles in the bottles. And that's the basics of it. So this little ditty here, I call it. It's a raspberry wheat ale, and it uses a white wheat malt, which malted barley and malted wheat are just where they've gotten the seeds to just start to germinate, where they just start releasing the enzymes that will break down the starches into sugars that the plant can use to grow. And then they turn on the lights, turn on the heat, lightly roast it so that it kills the seed, and then they sell it, and it's the best thing to use for making beer. So there were, in this particular one, to make a 5-gallon batch, I used 6 pounds of wheat, 6 pounds of Maris Otter barley, 2 pounds of raspberries. These were frozen raspberries. There's an interesting little hop that I was turned on to I'm not sure how new it is, but it's called Huell Melon, that supposedly has a nice watermelony, fruity taste to it along with the bitterness. And then added in a wheat yeast, a yeast that's specially bred to work with wheat beers, and let it sit. So far, the beer, it seems to be coming along pretty good. The carbonation route, it's carbonating nicely. I just sampled one while we were talking here. It's got about another week before it's fully carbonated, so it won't be ready for my movie night, but it will be ready for any time that I have some guests come in that actually want to sit in the studio and talk with me live one-on-one. So anyway, that's the basics on the beer. It seems like it's really tasty. That's another hobby that I have. And any beers that are drunk in the brew pub, unless I have not had a chance to brew more, they're usually going to be ones that I've made here in my little brewery pub studio. So that's the basics there on the raspberry wheat. I'll let you know here in another, it's already been in there for about a week now, so I will let you know, or actually not even that long, because I just bottled it on Sunday. So I'll let you know in about 2 weeks how that turns out. And like I said, if it turns out as good as it seems like, because even right now it tastes pretty good, then it will be the beer for the pub for a little while, because it turned out to give me 2 cases of beer. In any case, that's the lowdown on the brew. If you have any questions about brewing, you can always email me at skepticsbrewpub@gmail.com, or if you have any other questions about skepticism, humanism, or you just wanted to say that you hate my guts, and if you want to send hate mail, you can send it there too. You can also follow my show here. You can also follow the show on Facebook. It is at facebook.com/beer and blasphemy. Let's see, I also have a Patreon set up. It's patreon.com/skepticsbrewpub. That's where you can make a per episode donation if you like the show and you'd like to see us continue. And help me kind of defray some of the cost of the brewing and the broadcasting and such. Let's see. There again, if you want to find out more about the Northwest Arkansas Humanists Association, you can find them on Facebook. They are at, let me bring the website up again. Computer's thinking. You can go to the website, which is nwahumanist.com. That's still a work in progress. I know you can hear my keyboard typing here. You can also email them at nwahumanist@gmail.com, or let me find their Facebook page again because it's completely blanking on me. The NWA Humanist is also found at facebook.com/NWA-humanists. So that's the other way that you can get a hold of us. Again, there's a few other organizations, and I intend to have the presidents of the other groups out here on the show at some point as well. There's also the Northwest Arkansas Freethinkers. I believe there's also Occam's Razor, which is the group, which is the college group, and there's also Fayetteville Freethinkers, and I'm especially looking forward to try to get Doug Krieger on sometime to talk about counter-apologetics, because along with my brewing and podcasting and several other hobbies that I have, I really love digging into theology, apologetics, and counter-apologetics, which means apologetics, okay, for those playing the home game, is defending the faith, and counter-apologetics is taking those arguments and picking them apart. So that's pretty much going to be it for our show tonight. We will be back Monday, and I will have live via Skype. I will be talking with the president, or with the national director of Camp Quest and the director of Camp Quest Oklahoma, and we will sit and talk about a little bit about Camp Quest, what it is, what they do, and why they are such a valuable part of the secular movement and the community. Some other shows that are going to be coming up after that, I'm going to be talking with a friend of mine. It's going to be Bishop Lainey Peterson. She is, among other things, she's a really good friend of mine, has been for a couple of years now, and we're going to actually talk about the history of the Pentecostal movement, how it actually got started, some of the things some of the history of the movement itself, because it's not as old as people want to think it is. After that, I've also got scheduled on here in September. I'm going to have an interview with Lauren Lane. She is she's heading up the Skepticon coming up later this year in November. They've got a really good line of speakers coming up for that. Jerry DeWitt's going to be on there. I'm hoping that I can someday get him on here to also talk about the Pentecostal movement. Jerry DeWitt's going to be there, Alex Jules, and a whole host of other folks are getting signed up. It looks like it's going to be a really good time. It's in Springfield, Missouri. I believe it's going to be around the weekend of November 12th. I may be wrong on that, but we'll clarify that when we talk to Lauren. It's going to be a really good time. Springfield, Missouri. It's a totally free conference. If you want to make donations, you can at skepticon.org. You can also get a better list of who the speakers are going to be there. Along that way, also, there's Gateway to Reason Gateway to Reason. Unfortunately, was canceled this year. It was a very sad story on that. That he just couldn't. The person that was trying to put it on just couldn't get the funding up like he did the first year that it was put on, so it had to be canceled. But again, there's also in October, Mythicist Milwaukee are going to be hosting the Myth Information Conference, which, among other things, is going to have the title bout debate to end all debates, Robert M. Price versus Bart Ehrman, to talk about the historicity of Jesus. And that should be a really interesting debate. When we talked to Dr. Price, he said that tickets were running at $9. When I checked the website, just as a quick correction, that's tickets to live stream the event over the internet are going to be, I believe it's $9, and then tickets for the debates are going to be a little bit pricier, but all of that information is at their website, which escapes me right now. But just Google Myth Information Conference 3 or Bart Ehrman versus Robert M. Price. It's sure to pop up immediately. Well, that's all we've got for this week. We'll see you back here. Well, that's all we got for now. We'll see you back here on Monday at 8:30. Again, we'll be talking with Camp Quest. And remember, believe nothing of what you hear, half of what you see, and never start a serious conversation without a 2-drink minimum. Good night, everybody.
Very rarely stable. Our digger was a boozy beggar who could think you under the table. David Hume could out-consume Wilhelm Friedrich Hegel, and Wittgenstein was a beery swine who's just as sloshed as Schlegel. There's nothing Nietzsche couldn't teach about the raising of the wrist. Socrates himself was permanently pissed. John Stuart Mill of his own free will on hot one, the shaggy was particularly...